Can visiting a museum or a garden be a form of therapy? One European city's culture department wants it to be, and even thinks this should be covered by health insurance. There's a new program in Switzerland where the city of Neuchâtel has teamed up with a number of doctors. The project allows them to give prescriptions to people with chronic pain or mental health struggles, prescriptions that provide free admission to the city's museums or botanical garden. One healthcare provider who's participating says this could give some patients the chance to forget their worries and illnesses for a time, making a joyful moment of discovery literally what the doctor ordered. Health officials have studied the role that the arts play in preventing and treating sicknesses, and a patient who is suffering from burnout said going to venues like museums brings a little light into the darkness. I'm Carl Azuz for The World from A to Z, and Fridays are awesome. Unless maybe you're stuck as far away as space and you're not certain when you're going to get back home. That's the case for Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore. The two NASA astronauts flew up to the International Space Station last June on what was supposed to be an 8-day mission. But the Boeing spacecraft that got them there developed some issues and wasn't considered safe enough to bring them back to Earth, so the days turned to weeks and the weeks turned to months as they continued to maintain and conduct experiments on the ISS while NASA continued looking for ways to get them a ride. Space flights are risky. They each cost tens of millions of dollars to get off the ground. Everything has to work seamlessly. The weather has to cooperate. And the latest effort by the company SpaceX was supposed to launch Wednesday, carry a new crew of 4 to the ISS, pick up Williams and Wilmore, and bring them home maybe on Sunday. But there was a hydraulic issue that delayed the launch. The weather was bad on Thursday, and that made this afternoon the next possibility. We'll keep you posted on what happens with a very challenging and distant bus stop.
It's that time of year again. The flowers, the sun, the pollen.
If you wait until you start to have symptoms, those allergy cells are already starting to get unhappy.
That's why allergist Dr. Christopher Brooks with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says if you're one of the millions who suffer from spring allergies, prepare now to lessen and even prevent some symptoms before they get out of control. He says to begin using sprays. Saline can help clear the nasal passages, and a steroid nasal spray can help reduce inflammation.
Starting 1 or 2 sprays per nostril every day, a week before symptoms start, will be a great place to start.
Once pollen is in the air, check pollen forecasts, limit outdoor time at peak pollen time, continue taking allergy medications, especially ones prescribed to you, and practice good hygiene like washing hands and showering after being outside.
If they're keeping you from sleeping or keeping you from, living your fullest quality of life, I think it's a great idea to talk to your doctor, whether your primary care doctor or allergist, to look for next steps to help you make you feel better.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
On this date in world history. March 14, 1991 was when the so-called Birmingham Six were freed from a British prison after their convictions were cancelled out. Originally from Northern Ireland, the men were living in Birmingham, England in 1974 when bombings at 2 pubs there killed 21 people. Though the men were convicted and sentenced to life in prison, additional evidence that followed led to them being freed after almost 17 years. The bombings remain an unsolved terrorist attack. This was the date in 1964 when American nightclub owner Jack Ruby was convicted of murdering Lee Harvey Oswald, the man accused of assassinating President John F. Kennedy. Ruby appealed his conviction and was granted a new trial, but he died of a heart problem before it began. And on this date in 1794, American inventor Eli Whitney was granted a patent for the cotton gin. The device quickly separated cotton from its seeds, making it easier and faster to produce. But an unintended side effect was that it contributed to the expansion of slavery in the American South to harvest the crop.
Word of knowledge. Which of these historic fighter planes flew in the Battle of Britain? Sopwith Camel, P-51 Mustang, Supermarine Spitfire, Mitsubishi Zero. In the battle that lasted from July through September of 1940, the only one of these planes that participated was the Supermarine Spitfire.
The Spitfire is very hush-hush, of course. It would be used if necessary to intercept and destroy raiding bombers.
It was critical to defeating German attacks during the Battle of Britain in 1940. This one is on display at the Aviation Museum in Dumfries, UK. You might say 100-year-old Megan Landell feels the aluminum and rivets in a very personal way. More than 80 years ago, she helped build this very plane, and many like it.
This is it.
Megan was just a teenager when she started welding at a Spitfire factory in Birmingham. During World War II, 20,341 Spitfires were built. Today, only a few hundred have been preserved, and just a handful are still flying. During the war, Landell watched her welder Spitfire as she built exhaust manifolds. Then, she watched those same planes Spitfire at Nazi Messerschmitts in the skies over her home. She also watched as some went down.
The fights, I didn't like it when they got shot down.
A young Megan Landell saw plenty of Spitfires rolled along assembly lines, but she hadn't seen one since the war ended. When she turned 100, it was Megan's birthday wish to again see one of the planes she helped build. This particular Spitfire crashed after the Battle of Britain during a training flight. A team of divers found it in 1982, and mechanics worked on restoring it over the next 40 years.
Yes, I was a diver.
You was a diver?
Yeah. And we brought it back to life.
God bless you. Seeing it in all its glory there. Thank you.
Amazing how thankful Miss Landell is. I hope she realizes how grateful an entire nation is to her and the many ordinary citizens who played their own small part in winning the war.
Goodbye, my dear.
What day is it?
Today is Pi Day, not the kind you eat, but the kind that symbolizes the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. So this March 14th, you have 3.14 reasons to celebrate.
This is no ordinary EF getaway. It's a gateway to personal travel, a deeper understanding of educational tours, and showing students the world. Enter now to win one of 20 spots on this free trip to Panama.
Gonna kick off this segment in the Bayou State. Alexandria is a city in central Louisiana. From there, we heard from Alexandria Country Day School. Great to have y'all watching. We'll make a trip northwest to visit Preston, Idaho. Hello to Mr. Lang's class and the Indians of Preston High School. Thanks for watching from the Gem State. And in the city of Ringgold, Georgia, Mrs. Wiggins' class is with us from Heritage Middle School. Big hello to the Generals in the Peach State. Something extra pizza delivery drivers have to worry about in Florida. The possibility that there's an 8-foot alligator hanging out by the house they're supposed to deliver to. The driver was too scared to make the drop, so she asked a police officer who was responding to the gator to take care of the pizza. He grabbed it and told the homeowner to meet him out back, and thankfully, only the pizza was eaten. Wildlife trappers arrived to relocate the rascally reptile. Of course, without toppings like deer, frog, bird, crab, or raccoon, unless the pizzeria is thinking outside the box, there might not have been much for the gator to smile about. And he's got to watch his own tail, because for gator haters looking for a new wallet or watch band, or a riverboater in sync with a snack from the Bayou, they might think Fridays are awesome. I'm Carl Azuz. Thank you for watching. Teachers, if you're enjoying the show, please tell someone about it and help us spread the word. Have a great weekend, everyone. You mean the world to me.